squad, turn that shit up, man.
Yo. Check.
Step up from the back, black woolly hat, black hoodie, black gloves, box ski mask. Give me all your money, honey, put it in the bag. I didn't really want your money, so I threw it back. I step up from the back, black woolly hat, black hoodie, black gloves, box ski mask. Give me all your money, honey, put it in the bag. I didn't really want your money, so I threw it back. When you spray a super soaker in your face, I cool you down. Attacking like a maniac, we bag a tool of found. We don't fool around, we just do it for the sound. We just do it for the pressure, me just do it for the crowd. Do it for the girl and watch her move her booty bounce, hold it down. I've been knocking on the house. Hello, my name is SOS, you know me by my sound. I crouch up on the floor, she opened door and then I pounce. I step up from the back, black woolly hat, black hoodie, black gloves, box ski mask. Give me all your money, honey, put it in the bag. I didn't really want your money, so I threw it back. I step up from the back, black woolly hat, black hoodie, black gloves, box ski mask. Give me all your money, honey, put it in the bag. I didn't really want your money, so I threw it back.
Here we go again.
Step up from the back, black woolly hat, black hoodie, black gloves, box ski mask. Give me all your money, honey, put it in the bag. I didn't really want your money, so I threw it back. I step up from the back, black woolly hat, black hoodie, black gloves, box ski mask. Give me all your money, honey, put it in the bag. I didn't really want your money, so I threw it back. Got my eyes on the prize, in the ties, cannot lie. Victimize with your thighs, do a ride or do a die. Do another one or two, I do a suicide. Do it in the day, I do it in the night. I do it, got her in the sewer. Do a put her in the boot and make a stamina maneuver. Trust me on the man, I come a sutra, I'm a trooper. I move like Barracuda, super duper looper looper. Step up from the back, black woolly hat, black hoodie, black gloves, box ski mask. Give me all your money, honey, put it in the bag. I didn't really want your money, so I threw it back. I step up from the back.
Okay. Yo, it's Ben SOS, it's your boy with the bucket hat. Welcome to the DryWave Super Tsunami as we flood Facebook with recovery goodness. Wet it with wellness and wash well-being across the social media matrix with an added mix of tales from the crypt as we do a deep dive into what drives the addict mind, the horror stories that we thought we left behind and the behaviours which can come back like the tide at any time. How did we survive? How do we overcome the mental torture? And how do we move forward without going back? Well, I better take a breath on that one, right? Guys, it's good to be here. Listen, nice one for the shares. You know how important you are. Hold tight, all the active gang that are sharing right now. Once again, it's your boy, Ben SOS, with the host with the most from pillar to pillar, post to post, coast to coast. It's your man, Will
Power.
Come on, Will.
That's my symbol.
Hey, Will.
I've not really done that, but that's my sign.
It looks demonic.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, that's only to you, I'm sure. Everybody, does that look demonic? Does that look pretty cool? Please let us know.
It's Illuminati. It's the Illuminati signs.
Sorry, I'm trying to get this out on all the airs here now.
Well, we've got a beautiful guest in the house, in the building. Sometimes a kind word, an ear to be listened to, and a little sprinkle of shared experience can go a very long way. A woman with a super strong community presence, someone who can tell you that name to that face and point you in the right direction almost anywhere in Stockport. You can never get lost with this sector connector, the SK Queen from the Goodness Collective, Simone Callahan.
Woo! Can I live up to that now?
Tell you what.
Absolutely you can.
Definitely.
Oh, hang on. There's something under the desk here for you.
Oh.
Tapping away. Where's the shares, gang? Active gang, let's get some shares out. We want 250 shares for this show. That's not a lot. That's not a lot to ask. Simone!
Yes!
Some beautiful flowers for you.
Superstar.
Not everybody gets flowers from me, right?
Oh, gorgeous, thanks.
No, I've never got any flowers.
Only the
No way,
special.
Will.
You bought me a Christmas tree once, didn't you?
I did actually buy them. Yeah, you're right.
Thanks for that.
There we go. Right, have we
Simone.
got bars?
of ours?
Oh, they
What-
would be
what-
alright.
Well, you know, it'd be lovely so.
Put it in that bottle of water if you want. Flipping it. What else do you want?
Oh,
Eh? Do you want me to? Do you want me to prune them as well?
oh, yeah, if you can.
Beautiful.
So look, I want to get some shout outs coming in right now. So we've got Elaine Davis saying hello guys. We've got Gemma Richards saying hello. And a load of love hearts coming through. Loads of love hearts are coming through for you here, Simone. That's amazing. Gemma Richards is saying share this one out. Chris Rowlands, Lee Robinson, Donna McIntyre, Chris Story, Ben Ladd, he says, Ben Ladd, what a man. What a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man. Come on. And then Lisa, Marie, Jory. But Simone, I want to take it straight back to you. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you for having me.
That's such an
Past my bedtime.
ungodly hour.
Well, now we're going late into the night.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're
Well,
going late into the night.
how did we first meet, Simone?
Oh, well, you were
Do you
just
remember?
a whirlwind, Ben, aren't you?
Well,
Wherever you
it was on a
go.
cold park. Sat on a bench in a cold park.
Yeah, he said he'd take me for a break. We ended up in Heaton Norris Park with a takeaway coffee. But
Well,
he did pay, didn't you?
I did pay. It was it kind of like, it wasn't pre-COVID, was it? It was just after COVID. Wasn't it? Was it?
Yeah, the community centre was open, but I think we took ourselves outside.
And that's right. We kept it outside. We kept it COVID safe. So just to let Will in. So I first met. Is something up? Something wrong? Are we on? Solomon's sound checking us. So yeah, just to let Will in. Will's not even listening. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, guys.
Will,
Few-
we are
few
actually
technical
live here,
things going,
mate.
Guys, sorry.
Couple of little technical issues. So, me and Simone first met. Simone was one of the first people within the third sector, right? To really start to point me in the right direction and actually explain to me like how many different organisations were in that sector. What is it you do, Simone? I still don't know.
Oh, wow. So I met you because I support the voluntary community faith and social enterprise sector in Stockport. And I do that by helping them to create connections to each other, as you know.
Yep.
We run the sector connector in Stockport, so we do that with Stockport Council, and we bring businesses, voluntary community sector together and public services to work to benefit the community. So it's like, where are the gaps and how do we support one another to fill those gaps?
And not only that, you're a strong you're a strong female community leader, right? So there's a big emphasis on women and women empowerment. Tell us a little bit about that because we love this.
Yeah, so we run a programme with a lovely lady called Beth, who has another pie, but that's pursuing individual excellence. And we got together as two Stockport social enterprises to provide personal development, digital skill support, careers and employability to women who are out of work, thanks to some WEA and ESF funding. And we just tend to try and focus our efforts around females because that's what we know. We are them. We know that there's opportunities for them. We know that a lot of women don't really know what they want to do or don't have a voice, and we just help them to figure some of that stuff out, and we love it.
And we love you, Simone. So why the third sector? What, it takes a kind of special someone to find this sector. I mean, people don't even know it bleeding exists. Let's have it right.
Yeah, so,
a lot of people that we speak to within the community like haven't got a clue that this community sector exists. That there's, I'd say like hundreds and hundreds of different community groups and inspirational companies that exist within their community, right?
Yeah, and that's even mentioning social enterprise. A lot of people don't know that that's part of the third sector. So the third sector is voluntary groups, community groups, charities. It can be like a small community group at the end of your road is part of the third sector. And social enterprises fit in that because we are businesses and we do want to create profit and enterprise, but we pour that profit and enterprise back into our purpose. So it's like a social business. And I think that model really sat with me because I've worked across corporates, I've worked in the public sector for 12 years, and I could always feel that there was a gap and there was a place that I wanted to explore outside of those. And kind of when I came across the third sector, I knew it kind of wasn't voluntary and charity work, because I like being enterprising. I like finding ways to, you know, I'm a bit like you, Ben, ideas person. So, you know, people will tell you I'm like off on the next tangent. Oh, sorry, flowers.
You have someone to ground you like Ben has me.
Yeah, have you got somebody that grounds you, Simone? Is it your son?
Yeah, sometimes. No, he just, I drag him along for the ride.
Simone's son's in the corner, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
You know.
My he's not a little son, he's 22, so graphic designer.
Yes.
So I
Part of the team.
Yeah, he's been really useful. So he's finished his degree recently and has been really instrumental in kind of bringing together the Goodness Collective's branding, and because it was kind of something I started. I've only been going myself for, we're coming up to our 2-year birthday, and I think a lot of, I'm a doer and I want action and I want to get stuff done, and I think having now recognising that there's a real need and it's working, having that somebody to help me pull that branding together and help me to kind of create a bit of a, and I'm going to move these.
Just shift them, Simone.
Because, thank you.
Because
hey, well
I'm not giving him.
Come on. They're causing a right racket for these for the
are.
people.
So I suppose it's yes, get going with stuff, but now we need to kind of show our presence, and we do loads of stuff, and we don't tell enough people about it. So that's the.
So, where did the Goodness Collective first start? It started off as an idea. What inspired that idea?
Well, I suppose that I've very much felt supported through my life. So stuff that's gone on for me, and I've always felt like I've had a team of people and connections that I can go to if I need some support. And I recognise that not everybody had that. And because of my work in the public sector for so long, I started to see. Originally, I used to work with young people, so I'm a careers advisor by trade. If anyone remembers the Connections brand, it was amazing, and then we got rid of it.
I think I remember Connections.
Yes.
Where were you based in?
In Chestergate.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
That big old building that's been left
Oh, what
empty
happened
for so
then?
long. Well, Connections stopped. It was not funded anymore, and then we moved into the council to be all singing, all dancing youth workers, taking registers, still doing careers advice. They've refined it now and it's a lot better, but although my passion was with young people, I used to particularly help young women better. I kind of knew more about what they wanted and what they needed. And
is it something you enjoyed more as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a place, as I said before, with the social stuff, it's got to come from a place of passion and
yeah, absolutely. I mean, because you can see that passion coming through, and it's really attractive, right? When you see somebody that's really passionate about their work, it almost the work kind of comes to you, right? Because you just create this real huge attraction, right? So
it's interesting on that though. What do you know how I've noticed this with our journey that you found it as we've moved into like helping and supporting people that kind of got more on the side of being drawn towards helping men as well. Oh, that was on cue, I guess.
have we got somebody on effects? Is Solomon on?
I did that.
Was that you?
Who pressed that button?
Is the universe?
Got my violin out.
That wasn't even digital. That came from somewhere. That came from the ether.
Look, guys, obviously that was something that was needed to be said anyway.
Yes,
Moving on.
Gemma Richards knows you here.
Yeah,
Come on.
she does, yeah.
Famous.
Yeah.
Eh? Dan Littlechild says yes, Ben, SOS. So we're going to be developing a path. I mean, Simone doesn't know this yet. It's just an idea that I've just come up with. Again.
Oh, an idea.
That's what I said.
So it's already there anyway. The universe has just put it into my mind now, and I'm just going to whack it out now and say,
gonna get me
so
to commit to something.
yeah, basically.
He's got it because it's in front of all these people as well.
No, because women are so important in recovery, and I feel that your experience around women and careers, and just from me sitting back, observing and listening to you, because when you help somebody out with their careers, you don't look externally, you look internally. So what I'd like to start creating maybe in the next kind of few months, especially for when COVID lifts, is a pathway towards Simone in some sort of way to get women some really cool, solid, life and career. It's both life and career. Well, it is. Your career is your life, right? Am I wrong?
No,
Your career is your life. So I think we should create a pathway to get Simone on board. Are you up for it, Simone?
Hey.
I'll get some details off you first then. But yeah,
I'll just give you them all.
That's it.
That's all you're getting.
Writing on the bit of a back of a paper. No, but I suppose that's what I was saying. Like when the council changed because they had to because of funding, the way it was delivered, and it became really targeted. I lost interest because I couldn't give the time and the energy to what I knew like young women needed. They didn't need a 30-minute interview with everybody, because not everybody needed 30 minutes, but actually some people needed 3 hours. And when it became like that, I just decided it was time to move on.
Not for you.
And I think I don't want to tick boxes. I want to kind of really make a difference, and I want to do stuff that is impactful and meaningful. And I knew that by creating the Goodness Collective, we could do more of that.
It's a lovely name.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, do you like it?
Well, I mean, you're not going to get anything. There's nothing negative about the Goodness Collective, is there? It's like so welcome, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's a lovely name. So you started off 2 years ago with this kind of passion to give, women specifically.
Well, it started very differently, really, because where I noticed the gap. So after I left it became Young People Services, I moved across to Place, so that's another part of the council, and I started to work with businesses and support them on their journeys and what they needed. And what a lot of businesses were coming to me and saying was, Simone, we want to help local voluntary community sector groups, and we want to get involved in local charities, but we don't have the time, we don't know where to go. Because of my work with young people, and I could see the need in the community, it's like there's got to be something we can do here. There's businesses who want to do it and want to give and want to.
Do they have some money?
Connections.
These
Some
businesses.
of them do, but it's not. And
That's
I hope
popular.
I've taught you this at Sector Connector, but it's not always
Sector
about
Connector.
money.
No,
Well,
it's
given
not.
that name,
No,
by the
Sector
way.
Connector's great.
Did you make that
Did you
up,
make
or
that
was
up,
someone else?
Simone?
I didn't make it, but as a team, so I co-designed and co-deliver that with.
Sector
Stockport
I
Council.
love it. I love
like
Sector
a lyric.
Connector. It absolutely
Sector
is.
Connector.
It is.
Connecting
Sector
Yeah.
Connector. Put
He's
your back
got-
on the stretcher.
Oh.
Eh?
Got our own
Good
rap.
Cannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
I
Why
don't know.
not?
Be.
Could work.
Could
Could
be.
be.
I don't think the Stockport Council will go for
No,
that.
not them lyrics.
That
but-
advert, right? Hannibal
No.
or Cannibal.
I mean,
I can.
maybe this is where I can do my little lyric.
Which one?
The one that we're gonna write.
Oh, you want to do one for the
promised
Stockport
that, right?
Council and Sector Connector?
Right.
Right, yeah, this
I'm up for
sounds.
that.
Yeah, it doesn't sound up my
Just-
street,
No,
but.
you said in spring we could write some lyrics.
Alright, we'll do one for Sector Connect, alright.
Right, okay.
Well, we'll get you to come on and introduce the next one.
What, the next Sector Connector?
Yeah.
I want to do that.
With a rap.
Right.
Yeah, I want to do something for Sector Connector,
Right.
yeah.
That'd be good.
But no, I feel that Sector Connector maybe had some sort of inspiration for the high pay stuff, because that's like, we love connecting people at DryWave. I think connection is key, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Connection is absolutely key for me in recovery to be able to connect with like-minded peers and connect with people that have different and better skill sets than me, right? And that's the same in business, right?
Absolutely.
To connect with people that have different and I guess better skill sets, to want to achieve kind of more, and to also pass on your like experience to other people. That's when you become a master, right, Will?
Yeah,
You're not a master until You know, you might think you
10,000 hours.
yeah, that's it. 10,000 hours and becoming a teacher. That's when you become a master, right?
I think I've done about 10,000 hours with you now.
Oh, it takes a lot longer to master me, mate.
Yeah, I think you're 20 hours.
Yeah,
20,000 hours for you.
20,000 hours. So,
I want to roll it back a bit further.
go on then.
Yeah, I want to know a bit more, obviously, a little bit more about your journey.
Yeah.
Going back. So this was 2 years
Oh, he's going
ago.
in deep now, Will. I knew he'd go in deep.
But I
Come
just-
on, bring
No,
it
it's right,
on.
go on.
So 2 years ago this was built.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
so this was kind of birthed like, this is like passion. Really.
Yeah.
So what led you to this place here now where you've got this desire to help people? Is there anything that you went through in the past, or are you just naturally a person that just loves helping and supporting
Oh,
people?
we've all been through stuff in the past, haven't we? So that's a given.
True.
Yeah, and yeah. So I have obviously had a son for 22 years. I've got 3 kids, and my youngest is 11. So I feel like I've kind of been a mother forever, and still am being a mother. And I think Ethan won't mind me sharing a bit of this. That like my very early journey there was some stuff going on in my own life that, like I said to you, in terms of there was other people around that I needed support from and were there for me.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff wasn't there as well, and I think there was real gaps to support in terms of where you go to, who to speak to, who's out there to support you with stuff that you've got going on in your head and things like that. And it's like, you know, where are the places? And they're there. You know, in Stockport, Ben,
They are.
and taking you to Sector Connector again, there's so much support and so many things out there. And that's why I love the voluntary community sector, because it kind of really fills that gap that people need. But it's finding your way to those things. It's finding out where they are and what they are. And I think there's so many people, and this goes with our women's courses, that we don't just do the delivery. So it's not like, here's a 12-week course, come on it, do week 1 digital skills, do week 2 visioning, and then, you know, we'll take you through it. It's really about every step of the way we try and connect the women to the things that might support them. So if we recognise that there's a mental health or there's a wellness issue, we will connect them to local voluntary community things that will support them. If we recognise that there's things that they're struggling with their children, we will connect them to things that are local that we know about. And I suppose that people say to me, why do you say, you know, why are you so like using your hyper local stuff? Why are you so Stockport? It's like, because I know what's here.
Yeah,
and I can connect you to things that are on your doorstep, which is so important.
The pennies just dropped, right? Because it just makes so much sense. The Goodness Collective is almost fed by Sector Connector, and Sector Connector is fed by the Goodness Collective, because Simone is like this wealth of like shit. I mean, I think our first meeting, she just went, "Oh yeah," and she must have given me about she was just overwhelming with the amount of local knowledge and information that Simone had with professional organisations. Not only that, with personal connections that you'd made of, you know, people that ran local like connection groups and organisations, and I was like, how does this woman know so much? But it's obviously your passion.
Yeah,
it's definitely your passion, and we have to get to know all these different people in order for when that woman comes through the door and says, you know, I can't get people to mind my kids, and also there's no food in the fridge, and Simone can then come up. Am I right?
Yeah,
pennies dropped. Love it. Yeah.
And I think that's, you know, you're asking about the past. That's kind of like when I was 22 and I became a single parent with Ethan. There was kind of, there was stuff and I didn't know about it, and it's like, why didn't I know about it? And actually, I could have created probably different things. It all worked out fine because I'm a go-getter. But for some people, they might not have that family support, or they might not have the mindset or be in the right place to go and seek it out for themselves. I mean, you know yourself, you get a list of numbers, don't you? Here you go.
It's not good enough.
Get this list of numbers
Yeah,
and
it's
go
not
and
that-
ring
I
it,
mean,
and
this
it's
is-
not good enough.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I think it is through experience where we notice like what is needed within, and I think the Goodness Collective is great. Hopefully, the high peer idea can be another step towards us all being able to be connected, because there's just this gap, isn't there? And it seems to be that, I don't know, maybe people may see the third sector as something which isn't quite reachable for them, something that's a little bit clinical, that's not it's not got a personal touch, whereas the Goodness Collective is kind of breaking that
And sometimes that's just about introductions. It's like, we went to the Heat and Not where we had the first coffee outside. And it's like,
How did that go, by the way?
first impressions count, right?
yeah. But actually, that community centre there, and I've introduced you to Nadia Ali as well.
She's
who's doing so
Nadia
much great
is
work.
lovely.
It's like there's so many things just within that centre.
Well, I
that are
didn't
going
even
on.
know.
That's what I mean, and that's on your
Stone's throw.
doorstep. Yeah, literally.
I feel embarrassed now because I had to have Simone come and drag me there and show me what was going on.
But I think that's it, isn't it? It's yes, it's not a number, and it's not just telling people. It's in a way kind of, and I can't do it with everybody. But if there are community champions out there who can do that,
Yes.
I'll take you, and let's take you the first time. I was having a talk with a community group today who want to be more inclusive and make sure that they're reaching everybody, and that's part of that step is how, when people walk through to that door, do they feel like there's something for them to do, there's an activity to go to, so they're not just stood there like Billy No.
What's the attraction? Yeah. What's the attraction? And it, is it offering what they're saying on the tin? Do you know I met two old ladies today while I was walking up Dodge Hill?
Dodge Hill?
Yeah, you know Dodge Hill, don't you?
Yeah.
I was walking up Dodge Hill, and there were two old ladies walking down, and it just seemed. I speak to anybody, right? So I said, it's harder getting up than it is going down, It just, I just say some stuff comes out of my head sometimes. They're like, oh, I know, well, not with these knees and stuff like that. But they said, we're going on a history walk, And I thought, well, isn't that lovely? And then they started talking to me about the history, how there used to be like a little sweet shop down at the corner, Dodge Hill and stuff like that. But I just thought, it's just these things that you miss that are going on in your community, these little bits of gold, especially during such a dark time. I mean, we always go on about, you got to look for the gold during this dark time. And I think that's really what this COVID has started to do, is really push people to look and go on this little adventure and see what it is that's going on in the community, what they can connect to, because we're all suffering with lack of connection, and we're all getting connected. So yeah, I love the Goodness Collective. I'm going off on a tangent. No, I was.
I do want to just come in quickly actually on a shout out and then add on to that.
Go on.
Gemma Richards, you helped me out so much.
Oh.
So
Gemma's a good girl.
she's really big me up here. We've got a few other little things. We've got Lisa.
Oh,
I'm off again.
how are you doing that? That's amazing.
It's
amazing.
I've been
It's like
meditating
the
a lot,
sob story, isn't it?
Is that what it is?
I've been harnessing my yogi powers.
But it always happens when you're on. I try and make it
well,
happen.
hold on a minute. Yeah, that's what I mean.
You can't make it happen.
You've got to just let go.
Right,
Right,
if
here
you
we
can
go.
come and speak to this lad that I've been working with recently, because he needs to let it go. And this is what I was telling him.
I've got somebody
Step
else.
one,
Yeah,
powerless.
Powerless. I've actually got someone else that can you take another 12 steps?
I can't.
We need to get going onto this whole sector collector.
yeah.
We need to get somebody else.
We can get someone to take him through, though. I've not got it.
Yeah, no,
I've not got it. It's like crazy.
Let's do a few more shout outs.
Oh yeah, let's do some shout
Do
outs.
you want to go on some?
Wayne Warhurst, where we were brought up when we were kids, not the kids nowadays. Much love, Wayne. I've got some good news for you. You're back in the tribe.
Hey.
I speak to you. Rob Thurston's here as well. My numero uno old school DJ. We need to get you down, Rob. We need to get you down playing us a few cheeky tracks, mate. We love you, Rob. Hey, listen, we're back on soon as well, mate. So I've been on the phone to a few clubs today, Rob. So you might be getting a phone call. Let's get you on board. Lee Robinson saying, how's everyone feeling? He runs a local Facebook group called Addiction, which is really cool. So make sure you get on that if you're listening.
Lisa Marie Durry certainly is brilliant what these guys are doing, especially for people who are in recovery.
Oh, that's nice.
A real big up. Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks. Lee Robinson says you bunch of sausages. Thanks for that, Lee.
Oh, there we go. We've got
Farina Khan.
Hi, Simone.
Hi.
Saying hi, Simone.
Oh, Sharon, they're all on now. Hi,
Oh my, it's all coming
right,
now.
Okay.
Everyone's getting a bit right. I've got a treat for you, Simone.
Oh.
Another treat.
Yeah.
Treats all the way.
See if we can. Right, come on. This is a bit of it.
Growing up, me and my gang, as far back as I can remember, roaming these streets we called home in all kinds of weather. Our favourites were footy or knock a door run. They'd always refer to it as mischief, but to us it was fun. You see, in these toxic environments where we were brought up, you'd struggle to find anything this close to love. We all had our own reasons for staying out as late as we could. Some dads that were AWOL, some mothers on drugs. Then as we got older, these streets, they turned into these pubs. Still me and my gang, but no more Kirby at night. Darts and pool for depression. Oh, it's anxiety, mate. Here, have a few cans of Red Stripe. Doing anything we could to ignore this frustration inside. Seeking out girls for affection. For anger, it's fights. Hard to explain really, but we were never fighting these old blokes, even though we didn't know it at the time. They were mum's boyfriends, our teachers, politicians, our fathers, our brothers, or at least they were in our minds. See me and my gang, we were never naughty types, but our hearts were so bloody heavy and our heads filled with shite. All we wanted was a chat, or a hug, or a moan, or a fucking good cry. Brought up in these homes where emotions are fear. Talking about feelings or crying, you're going the right way for a clip round the ear. Looking back now though, I really wish we'd tried. Cause recently, my gang, nearly me, has been dropping like flies. Even at Ince's funeral, we all wore sunglasses so no one would see the tears in our eyes. You see, Ince, as Morrissey put it, was the first of my gang to die. M62 bridge, near the Denton bypass. Ince was the first that day, but for me and my gang, Ince wouldn't be the last. Since then, a couple had turned to drugs, got clean, then turned back. One or two locked up or on tags, simply stuck on the wrong paths. A few of us joined Ince after long kips, long ropes, or longer baths. I just pray to God, if there is one that is, what's left of me and my gang can help each other to last. Now I've got my own little brother. And he's got his own little gang. They listen to proper shit music and I can't understand any of their slang. I know. He knows. He's got all of my love. But I also know, like most of us, he'll have to go through some stuff. At least he'll never have to hear me say those words. Can't you just bloody toughen up? 'Cause real men, they do cry and hurt and feel sad, feel pain, but they do open up. Men can share their feelings at the match or at the pub, and I want that to be normal for men, as him and his gang are growing up.
Flipping neck, Simone. Wow. I mean, that, honestly, well done. I'm sorry, what's your name again? Ethan, sorry, Ethan. That song was by Simone. Ethan, can you just come to this camera while I want to show you off,
He's in
mate?
my bubble, he's alright.
Yeah, they're in the bubble.
Snitches
get- This is Ethan here, Simone's son. What an amazing poem. I do have to apologise. That swear word crept in there. That's my fault. So I really do apologise to anybody listening, either online or on the radio. Please don't find me, Ofcom. I really can't afford it. We would like some sponsorship though, Ofcom. So maybe you want to give us £5,000 and not take it off us. So, but no, seriously, we do apologise. Ethan, that poem is phenomenal. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. I've listened to it again and again, and it's me. Like, and when I first listened to it, I almost knew what you were going to say as it was. I can't tell you how. Yeah, let's get you in. Come in. Come on, bro. Oh,
yeah, no, I'm glad you can connect to it, and I think that's the whole point of it. You know, they're not all my experiences, but I think
just talk to the mic for us, my mate.
You'll know yourself from being in waiting rooms at drug therapy places, doctors' waiting rooms, self-help waiting rooms. People just want you to listen to them. So you know, that's all the stories that I've heard from people and my own experience as well. And I think if it can just help people to know that they're not alone in whatever they're going through, that's the main point.
It's insane.
You're going through, someone else is going through it probably as well. And like my mum was talking about with the community stuff, that was a massive help for me. You know, I met Chris from Man About a Dog.
Oh, he's amazing. Oh, what an amazing guy. Chris, Man About a Dog, he'll be on soon.
No, he
He's
definitely
ordained.
won't come on because of the late nights. It's definitely past his bedtime.
Right, well, yeah, we're going to get him on for an hour. He's coming. He's coming. No, it's ordained. It's in the universe, isn't it? But seriously, if you've got that from other people's experiences, then what? I mean, what's going on? Like, bro, I just couldn't. When I heard that, I don't think. And now, listen, I write poetry myself. I write lyrics. I've listened to poetry for years, spoken word for years. That's something else. That's an art. It's a real art. If that's something you really enjoy, pursue that, mate. Pursue it to the end of the earth, because it's just phenomenal. Really is. If you've got any more poems and stuff like that, and you want studio time, or you want to do anything kind of cool, let me know. I will set it all up for you and get you some time, and anything you need, we'll sort it out. We'll get Simone to write as a funding bed. keep it in the family, Simone.
Yeah, no,
But that's phenomenal, mate.
I'm really proud of him. He did an amazing job with it, and I think it's also. He gets the need for community now. It's like all the kids, I drag them along to everything. So even my other two, when we had the Goodness Collective launch, you were all had jobs, didn't you? Like my daughter was doing the signing people in, and my son was taking my young son was taking the food round. He was happy with the cakes. Yeah. so it's like that. I really believe that when you do things like this, you should really share it with the people that are around you, because
Absolutely.
You know, they will need to get it too.
We've actually got there's loads of comments here. Wait, I'm still going down. Oh my god. Wait, hang on. Oh my god, 1 second. Oh, it's still going. Oh, it's still going. Oh, it's still going. Flipping it, bro. Still going. Right, here we go. Rob Thurston, huge DJ, huge old school DJ. Love this track. Gemma Richards says, "Oh, Rob Thurston, need a copy, please." So we'll have to get in that if that's okay with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Get it out
Who
there.
spoke in that, by the way?
That's my cousin Adam doing the speaking on
All right. Could we get them back to do another recording? Is that possible?
that. You'll have to see with him. He's a very busy man, but
Is he?
yeah,
He's great. He's amazing, but
good, really good.
it needs recording in a. Mind you, I mean, no one was too bothered about that, was they? You know, I did a little. I could probably tweet some more a bit and some. There's just some
Yeah, that was a good one, yeah.
maybe it's my ear though. It's just with the vocal recordings a little bit, but that's me.
Yeah.
But don't watch that. If that's from my ear. So Wayne Warhurst says, what song is this? Zoe, Emma Richardson says, amazing. Lisa Marie says, I love this. It's so true. Listen to them words. Beautiful. Chris Rowland says, knock a door, run and garden hopping. I mean, this is what I was getting from it, right, Will? It just took me back so much.
All it needed was Kirby in there.
Hey,
That was it.
what about what about your friend that committed suicide?
Yeah, so no, that wasn't directly my friend.
That was another friend.
Yeah, that was someone.
How have you captured this?
Yeah, but I know you had a friend who committed to taking another life.
Yeah, well, there was it was the way that you captured it though in your words, where it was like that friend was like the first friend to go, right? And that was the same. I remember my first friend to die, right? My best mate, Michael Hill, committed suicide, and he was just the first. And there's been many more since, with suicide, overdoses, so many friends. So it was just how you capture it. I can't, I can't.
That could have been me, so that's how you can connect to something like that. When you've nearly been there, that could easily be you in that position, and that could be one of your friends talking about you.
So true though, and so to get that level of rawness is extremely special. But you're very special, Ethan. Donna McIntyre says, wow, this is amazing. Wayne Warhurst says, yes, Ethan, well done. That was amazing. This song is so real from Gemma Richards. Sharon McNally, amazing. Chris Rowlands, Ethan, it's so good. You brought back memories. Kebab shop fight, someone says.
So there's a video to go with it, isn't there?
Oh yeah, the video's amazing. So look, anybody that want
I just think there was the kebab shop fights weren't in it. Maybe they should have been.
What's your Instagram, Ethan?
Yeah, so if you go to Ethan CAL _ on Instagram, the video's on there. It's called Growing Up Stuff, and I'm sure there'll be more to come in the future.
Cool.
I'm always writing things down. Just write your thoughts down. It doesn't have to turn into a poem or a song, but write it down, get it out of your head.
That's a really good tool to write your thoughts down. Get them out. Capture your thoughts. The Bible says that. There's one from the Bible. Getting biblical. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant shot. Yeah, people are saying they won't mind a copy of this. So I'm going to send this out to some people and stuff, if you don't mind. We'll get it out there. We'll put it on SoundCloud and get it out there and stuff. Yeah, let's get it out. Yeah, I think it's great tool. Wow, thanks, Ethan.
Well done.
Well done, man.
Love what you did with it too.
Yeah, it was really. Do you know what? It was. All I did was like slap it over a song, but it just worked so well. I did a couple of tweaks to a couple of bits in it, but it just worked so well over the beat. I was well impressed when I listened to it.
It's great.
That was ordained.
Yeah, it looked. I did a little chorus to it, almost, didn't it?
Solomon, we're sorry there was a swear word online, and we've apologised to Ofcom. Thank you. Sorry, man. All right.
Our fault.
Yeah. Blame
your guests.
Blame Simone.
But
Goodness
do you know
collective.
what I loved about it as well?
Go on.
Obviously, on my side and going back, and this blooming thing might start now doing it. So, but the bit about men speaking and opening up.
Yeah.
That was in there.
And I think that's something that's just kind of ingrained in you as well. My family's amazing. Never made me feel like I couldn't do that. But I think just society in general.
What the? Ethan, it was you that time. Flipping it. I want
something about I think we're getting a sign about men's work, men sharing, men opening up, and the importance of that. So guys, open up, share.
We're being led by the Spirit. This this show's being led by the Spirit, isn't it?
Ethan's
What's going
got
on?
the power now.
Flipping it.
We don't want Simone to get that power.
Well,
all the Stockport and light up.
I'm telling you, well, she's already lighting it up.
I know.
Back to Simone anyway. Where are we up to with that? So what did you first think when you heard that poem?
Oh, I was blown away.
Oh, I
When
bet.
Cause I mean, you were quite nervous, wasn't it? It was for an end of year. His last year of his graphics, and you'd had a difficult year, hadn't you, with his own mental health. And I think it was emotional for me to hear, because I knew, even though it wasn't his story, there was a lot of that stuff in there about the thoughts and the places to go, and how it could have been different. That, you know, was really tough and hard. But I was glad he could do it, and you know, he's so creative anyway. He's got some amazing talents.
I mean, that story.
Doesn't get that from his mum.
I'm sure he does. That story though is archetypal, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's almost a blueprint of every lad growing up in the 90s, you know, 2000s. It's just an archetypal blueprint that.
And it's still there now.
It's still
breaking
there.
away bits.
Yeah.
Now as men are sharing themselves.
Yeah.
But it is still.
But it's still there. It's just I can't believe how much I identify. I think it's the fact that it's so true and raw, and it embodies so much identity into it. You know, you're like, yep, that's me. I mean, everybody was just on fire then with it. It was crazy.
I think they're still at it now.
Yeah, they probably are.
They want your Insta name.
At Ethan Carl.
Right, here we go. Wait, here we go. Right, type it in there, Ethan.
Yeah, let's pick.
About it. We're live. We're interactive.
Yeah, we're interacting.
We're fully. We didn't used to be this interactive, but we're fully on it now.
Well, you got to be, ain't you? Got to move with the times, right? You got to move with the times. So we'll pin that comment and get it up there. So
there we go. It's on there. It's in there. It's done. What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's done?
So we are.
Okay.
I mean, we're only at the start of the Goodness Collective. You know, we've found out what the inspiration was. We know why Sector Connector now. You know, I can, you know, the penny dropped. You know, they both kind of feed each other. And I understand kind of why you do your thing. So it's been really interesting to kind of find this out about you. Where's the Goodness Collective now, and how did you get there, and what was the journey like? What's it like starting something new? That's what I want to know, right? You know, when you start this thing off, right, which you're going blind, right? It's like, oh, I've got this idea. What? I mean, you must be a mad woman.
Yeah, people say I am. And, you know, certainly if you're thinking of doing your own thing, don't expect that it's going to be less hours than your full-time job, because it's probably double, and you'll know
Absolutely.
that. You know, the time and
God.
the energy. But at the same time, you're putting the time and energy into something that you really care about. And to be honest, I've never had a bad job, because I very much am a person who's led by a gut. So if something doesn't feel right, and that's essentially why I moved around the council a lot. If I didn't like what was going on, or I didn't like the way the role was going, I would find something else, or I would create something
See ya
else.
on your bike.
So, yeah.
Cutthroat.
So it's kind of it was more about, I knew that I had to do this, so that it wasn't really a decision in the end. It just had to happen.
Yeah.
I had to leave the job I was in, and I'd been there for 12 years, so it was a long time, although not in the same position. And it was just I knew I had to go, and I knew that if I didn't do my own thing, I would always regret it. Yeah,
having that level of autonomy in your own life, and having that bravery to you know, to up and leave and go where you got. Not a lot of people have that.
No, and that comes straight back to the story we were talking about before. When I was became a single parent with Ethan, I literally had nothing. I was in homeless families, and I had no money.
Wow.
Nothing. There'd been a house fire, so I didn't have. We literally had the clothes on our back, didn't we?
Right. Okay. So now we're getting somewhere. Right. So
from that, I think that I don't look back at that as a sad thing, because I can always go back to that place and say I have had nothing, and I've been, and not I was no one. I was always somebody, but I didn't have those things around me, and I don't need those things. So if I've got to go back to that place ever, I know I can get back out of it.
So right,
I know that I can make stuff happen.
yeah. You was you was a single mum in a house, obviously gone through some tough times with ex partner.
Yeah.
Then the house sets on fire.
Somewhere in between, yeah.
Like full on house fire, like we're talking.
Yeah, the whole lot went.
Right, come on.
So
I mean,
it was
come on,
part of a
it's what we
domestic.
love.
Will, I'm leaving this to you.
Part of a
I'm turning
domestic
my mic
abuse
off.
situation.
You-
It took us 20 minutes. I asked this question half an hour ago.
Well, I alluded to it. We're an hour in. No, so yeah, you know, you come on these things and bare your soul. But I'm all good with it. I'm not emotional. But I think it's that kind of going from a point of having nothing that it doesn't really impact me anymore. It's like I will take not major risk, but I'll take calculated risks because I know
obviously.
if it doesn't work out, then
So take us back. There's a lot of women out there that might need to hear your story. You know, we don't mind telling it.
Yeah.
You were going through a domestic abuse situation.
Yeah.
So this take us back to that situation. What was?
Well, it was not overly physical abuse.
Does that have to be?
No, it was emotional. There was a couple of physical occasions,
Mm,
and also a lot of crazy behaviour, and a lot of that whole emotional blackmail about, you know, keeping you down, really.
yeah.
So I think
Had this happened over a period of time? This hadn't just happened slap bang in your face. This had been because you're not daft, you know.
Yeah, but that's really interesting
Go
because
on.
I've always been a tough cookie.
Yes.
And my friends were really surprised when it came out what
Yeah.
was happening, that was happening to me, because on the exterior, that experience didn't make me tough. I was always quite...
You've always been a
my
tough
mum's
cookie.
a massively independent
Yeah.
woman, and she's brought me
Yeah.
up. And again, she's a single parent mother, so I've always had that really strong female figure. So that, and I think that's a bit of a misconception that if you're strong, you can't suffer domestic abuse. It doesn't work like that. Anybody
Wow.
can, anybody,
Yeah.
and it starts small and it can chip away, and then obviously when there's a child involved, then you feel even more need to make it work and make it happen. And then, you know, there's bits of this person that were absolutely lovely,
Absolutely,
and, you know,
yeah.
hearts and flowers and everything. You know,
Yeah.
you couldn't.
But I've always said, you know, if Santa Claus killed a couple of people every year,
Yeah, we'd probably still
And
forgive him. Yeah.
you know, would you still? It's like, you know, he's still a murderer, you know. But so it's so this situation chipped away at you. We have all these kind of like, you know, like blueprints on how to be and how we should be in these situations, or we should stick around because of you know, young Ethan and the kids and stuff. But it got to a point where you was like, enough's enough, right?
It got to a point where my house was burned down. Is what it got to.
Right. So that's, I mean, that's
So
that's deadly stuff.
I wasn't in it.
You wasn't in it.
Was just before we
I'm
get
glad
to
you're
that-
laughing, Simone.
That's
It's
like,
a lot, well, again,
that's
it's
a
a
finale,
long.
that
It's
bit.
a long time ago now. All this, and you know,
yeah,
there's
of course.
lots of life lessons from it that you would hope that you wouldn't make again. But never say never. You know, you can never say, and you
Absolutely.
know that in recovery,
You're
that
telling
you
me.
never say that you never go back there, or that things couldn't be that way again.
Because they could.
But you're more aware now.
Yeah, I think we have to say that no. Actually, you know, anybody, no matter what sort of, you know, character you portray on the outside, which it's always a character that we portray on the outside. Everybody can be vulnerable and has vulnerable areas of attack. So to say that them situations could never happen again, you're leaving yourself open to be run over, right? You know, you always have to be careful crossing the road, and it's the same with any situation, you know. And we have to recognise that, you know, the world isn't all bleeding lollipops and puppy dog tails, is it? You know.
And I think that's what I was alluding to around like the community stuff, that, you know, my immediate issue was emergency housing, which I can't, you know, it was Manchester Council at the time because it was in Manchester. They couldn't have been better at sorting that out for me, but all of that other support around the fact that, you know, I'm now a single parent and I've just been through this horrendous situation, and there was kind of none of that.
It wasn't available.
Support. Well, it probably was, but I
you
didn't
couldn't
know
find
about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think it's that kind of wraparound of when we look at, and I look at women and you look at anybody in recovery, it is, are we creating pathways, as you call them, for them to find what they need? Because it is there a lot of the time.
It is. No.
There's people making that step as well, like you've said to me before, around recovery stuff. Like, I think it was when I first approached you about.
Definitely your mic.
I'm sure Solomon's got something going on here.
But this is so. What was I going to say then? God, things taking you off whack now. It's making that step.
Yeah.
But like, so people know it's there. Like I said, Ben, you know, I've got this guy, 12 steps. Because I was new to, I didn't recover through 12 steps. I went for nothing. And then Ben said, look, get him the number. He said, but honestly, he might not commit straight away. Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Because people can know about it for so long, know that stuff's there, but it's just having the courage to take that step.
Well, the sad thing is, right, that I didn't know that end live video. What's going on here? Cancel that.
No
Gremlins.
chance.
I didn't know that Narcotics Anonymous or Alcoholics Anonymous or Cocaine Anonymous existed till I was 27. God, I wish I would have found it at 21. You know, maybe it was never meant to be, but yeah, I do feel that there's a gap for something that needs to be there, which is super accessible, super attractive, super cool, so everybody just has it on them anyway, and whenever they've got an issue they can just turn to this app and go, this is the issue I'm having, or let's go and see a community of people that are all, you know, doing cool wellness and well-being stuff. Let's see, you know, how Goodness Collective are doing. You know, I think that needs to happen, because still it's not there. No matter how great or attractive DryWave is, or how great or attractive the Goodness Collective is, that cool, attractive way to get hold or know about the Goodness Collective or any other organisations within the community ain't there, and nobody's coming up with it. You know, so I hear stories like, I'm just deeply saddened, like, you couldn't, you can't, it's just, it's crazy. It's crazy how it's not there. But, yes, so Simone, I really like that you've been able to share that side of you, a really deep kind of personal side of you, and I think, especially women that are in domestic abuse situations.
Yeah. I've got a question.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry. I was meant to go on to this before. I think your powers keeping me away from it.
It's like the music. I keep setting it off every time.
And I'm going like that. But where are we up together? It goes on to that. So with what I'm really interested in, because I've heard this before, but I've never met anyone or had an open conversation with someone after this suffered domestic violence. Is there almost you almost become like attached or addicted to it happening or something?
To the situation.
I think everybody. I know situations where people are they're like the drama and the chaos. Maybe like is the wrong word, but that drama and the chaos fills something in them that they don't get when the world is quiet. That wasn't really my situation, but I think it does happen. I don't think people are addicted to the trauma of it, but I think sometimes if you don't know what else there is, it's, and they say this, don't they, at schools, you know, actually the kids who are the worst behaviours often turn up all of the time, and it's attention sometimes. So, you know, things like that, whether it's negative attention or positive, if you don't know what you need inside you and you don't know what fills your cup up, then you are kind of looking for anything until you figure that stuff out.
It kind of is that, isn't it? You know, I was involved in domestic abuse. I was on the other end of it, you know, and for a male, you know, so that's a difficult one. And yeah, you just kind of like, because it is only a small part of them that's involved in the abuse, and then they're lovely after that, and you're like, you know, but then when it continues to keep happening, you know, eventually you go, hang on, you know, although she's making me, you know, a really nice Sunday dinner, and, you know, she cleans the house before I come back from work and stuff, you know, every time she drinks, she's horrendous to me, right? She's evil. So, you know, eventually you do have to, there comes a breaking point, right?
Yeah, I know drink is a big part of a lot of domestic situations. I think drink sometimes is that
catalyst,
tipping point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of, you know, we're having a nice few wines and then we're having a bottle and it's all gone pear-shaped type of thing.
So your house burned down, and then
Yep.
that was a result of all that was going
Yeah.
on. And then
I mean, that must have been horrendous. I mean, what the hell did you? But it was like, what
I mean, it was horrendous. As I said, it feels like somebody else's life story now. It was so long ago, and you know, I've got a lovely husband now. We've got 2 more kids. You know, Steve, my husband, is absolutely.
Oh, big shout out to Steve. Hi, Steve. We hope you're cool.
He's always been absolutely amazing with Ethan, and Ethan sees him as his dad, don't you?
Oh, that's lovely.
So you know, a lot of good has come from it.
Come on, Steve.
But also, and Steve knows this. It's that that thing that I'm with him now because I love him, not because I need him. And I think once you've been through a situation like that, you don't ever want to feel like you need another person again. You don't want that codependent.
I could do with speak. I might have some relationship issues that I need to speak about, because that's where, in it, Will.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I'm at. It's like, I don't need a relationship, right? So it's like, you better, like, you know.
I've pulled him up on that. Because one minute when Demi came in, so we had a brew before, and he was like, "Oh, and then the next minute he's like, "No, not a relationship for me, not at all. No, I've got too much to do."
I don't need one.
Oh no, yeah.
So it's like, you better be something special. So Steve, he must be something special, right?
Something special. I mean, you know, relationships. We've been together now for 20 years. So
yeah, that's a double life sentence. That you get less for murder in England.
Yeah, I think it's nearly 20 years. So and we're very different, and that's good.
Simone, you don't look old enough to have been through all this. What's going on?
I know. It's the oil of you, like.
I'm telling you,
it's all the great community work. It's your
spirit shining.
Funny enough, I met Steve really quickly after all this, and it was like, I didn't even enter my head that it was perhaps too quickly, because I just knew he was different, and I knew it wasn't a rebound type of thing. It kind of just, and he's, you know, he's very sensible and he's very steady.
What does Steve do? What's Steve's occupation? Has he got CICs all over the show?
No, he's totally, we're chalk and cheese. He's great because you know, I've always the ideas, and I'm on to the next thing, and he's like, bloody hell, and he's just quite happy doing his. So he's quantity surveyor, project manager. He does a lot of work with pubs, clubs, restaurant refurbs.
Has he got any clubs that I could
get
involved in? Here we go.
He doesn't do that side of it.
No.
But yeah, so he, you know, he's just a rock for us all, really. Yeah, we have a really probably boring middle class life these days.
It sounds like a great feel good story to me, doesn't it to you, Will? I love them stories,
Simple
mate,
life.
where like something tragic happens, but it's meant to be because it pushes you into that kind of, Mind you, can't be simple with Simone hanging about.
Well,
I mean,
I'm sure he'd tell you the same.
you're like a bull in a china shop sometimes, aren't you? But
well, I did say before, did you have anyone around you to keep you grounded?
So Steve's the man.
Yeah.
Steve's the one that
So
keeps you
I'm
grounded.
playing
He has his
Steve with
work
Ben
cut out.
in a different kind of way. Do you know what I mean? The amount of meetings we've had.
Benny's your Steve.
How many meetings have we had in Costa Coffee? We've been
Oh.
out on the park. We've been on many meetings out in the park.
Yeah.
And there's a big cup of teas there.
Costa Coffee think we're a bleeding couple.
Yeah.
The way we go on, right? Flipping it. We've had full on like, Freudian, Carl Jungian shadow working.
We've had the intensest conversations in Costa Coffee in Stockport. Here, when it's open in Costa Coffee, everyone, you want to watch something? Normally Friday afternoon when it's business meeting time, we'll be in there and the whole room disappears. Well, to us it does. We must stand out.
When we stop
I bet
talking.
they've got you two on camera
just-
every Friday. Oh, they're back again.
Oh, they are, honestly. When we stop talking, the whole of Costa Coffee is just completely silent.
I think at one point I saw one old lady just looking like that. But it's not an argument. It's not anything like that.
I've got to stop laughing like that down the...
It's a very...
Sound like Muttley.
It's a very assertive conversation.
Oh, yeah, like it's like everyone's waiting for us to batter each other, right? But it's not like that because we're just so assertive with each other, the way that we...
It's intense.
And then we end up getting to...
Get into what the call
Well,
is.
iron
It
sharpens
might take
iron.
about an hour to get
Yeah.
there.
Iron sharpens iron, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what we do together. We sharpen
Sharpening
each
our
other.
swords in Costa
Sharp,
Coffee.
don't we? Like,
And we began to go in there because lockdown came and we started to go in there. Because you remember you had the lockdown where you could only go in a coffee shop. So I gave you, I mean, you don't need a face
the
mask.
bandana.
I gave a bandana. So we're stood in there with the bandanas on, aren't we? Like
Anyway. So, where are we up to
We're
anyway?
at
Costa Coffee.
Steve's the ground is.
Steve's great. We love
Steve's
Steve.
a good man.
I never heard about Steve till.
I mean, it's
till
like lockdown relationships, isn't it? It's not
Yeah.
easy because you just at our house as well. There's 5 of us. It's just like constant.
God, that's
and
that's
it's
that's
full,
that's
and
crazy, right?
We're fighting over Wi-Fi. I'm on a Zoom. No, I'm on a Zoom.
Really? Why does
It's
it?
like,
Does it not?
it's your bandwidth, you see. You've got to share your bandwidth.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I don't
so
know about all that.
family, middle class family troubles. Yeah, I'm always on Zoom, aren't I? So I'm
I
always-
know. Yeah,
Oh, you need
it's horrendous, isn't it?
But it's like again that Sector Connector, and that was so that's our 6th one now. So the first 4 were in physical locations. I remember the very first one we did at Stockport County. We had about must have been close to 100 people there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
That was the very first one.
that's amazing.
Not as exciting as your events.
Yeah, but
Coffee and tea and a biscuit.
well, no, but I mean, I love networking, so I love Sector Connector.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm like, I love it. I just send everybody messages and see what comes back, and just keep
obviously
connect.
the last 2 we've had to do online, and
They're great.
So the last one, it's quite a lot of responsibility to be like 65 people online, and if
Telling
your,
you,
if your
it's
Wi-Fi
huge,
goes down,
yeah.
I sent them all out, didn't I? Last time I was like, go out for
Oh,
the
is that
day.
what
Go on a long walk.
Yeah, I mean that is big responsibility. To be fair, Simone.
But yeah, so obviously now we're trying to create opportunities to network by doing breakout rooms and things like that. And
It's
just
great.
Figuring out the technical side. Of
What's
what
happened to that
works.
soup thing you have?
Oh, the community soup, yeah. So
Is that back? Is that coming back or what?
So that's something that I do under. So talking about sectors, I also do a couple of days a week for Sector 3, who is infrastructure support.
Oh, hang on. I always thought Sector Connector was Sector 3.
No, Ben.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do apologise,
It's all
Simone.
right. So Sector 3 is the infrastructure support organisation for voluntary community sectors in Stockport. So a bit like.
Well, I got a few $100 off Sector 3, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
That was really nice of them.
Yeah. So they do things around funding, learning events, capacity building, and one of the things that you mentioned is community soup. So the applications are out for that at the moment. So if
Oh,
you're
really?
in Stockport and you've got an idea of something you want to do in your community, that could be worthless, not much. And if you've already had Keep Stop Put Caring money, which you have, you're not allowed to apply.
How much is it gone?
Well, it's so the way we do the community soups, which is nice. It's based on I don't know if you've heard of Detroit soup, but it was like an American thing, and it was the opportunity for people to supposedly get together over a bowl of soup, because the idea of sharing a meal and connecting with each
Breaking
other.
bread.
Yeah,
like it.
exactly. And there was the stuff around like community projects who didn't want big application forms. You've seen them for some of these funding pots. They would just do a short application, then they would come and pitch for a share of a pot of money. So the pot of money in our case is £1,000, and people get to pitch for. Well, we've introduced it in a way that they can pitch for a share of the money, but they can also tell everybody else who just attends what
They can pitch for a share of £1,000.
Yeah.
How many people are going to be pitching?
Up to 4.
I was going to say there'd be wars, wouldn't there?
So it's very civilized. So the way we kind of promote it is it's an opportunity to share what you do with people who are interested, because they're turning up to the soup. There's the opportunity to get the share of the money, and then what we also ask them to do is kind of share what is a non-financial ask. So something that other people who are attending the soup might be able to help them with. It might be shares on social media. It might be volunteers for the project.
That's cool. Yeah.
So it's that whole thing that you were saying before. It's not always about the cash.
Definitely not. Yeah, I'd love to. Well, I was supposed to be involved in the last one, but it was cancelled, wasn't it?
It was cancelled because so we only had 3 pictures on that, and 2 of them were ill. So it's like we can't have one person pitching because
they would have got it all.
And it doesn't kind of give the ethos of the soup either.
No.
That people are.
But yeah, I'll be
getting
there
a
on the
choice.
next one. Yeah.
So the idea again, if people can just rock up and attend, it's free. That in like the Detroit soup style thing was that people paid a £5 and whatever was collected ticket money was the pot of money, and we might do that in the future.
Do it again. Yeah, I'll put in. If anyone's got any ideas, if anyone lives in Stockport, wants some kind of help, it's like the first it's the first introduction to managing your own community project, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is Sector 3. I'm getting the gist.
Yeah.
So Sector 3 is this NA and stuff like that? Or
No, Sector 3 is just a local
So you might
community connections organisation, right?
Like CVS's, so they are organisation. We don't have one in Stockport, which is why Sector 3 came about. Is that's kind of the support services for the third sector, hence the Sector 3.
So who operates within the Sector 3? Look at me, get my own work in on the show. Because I hear some of these words by Ben, but I'm not always in the conversation. They're on the phone calls.
So it's a range of people that sit on the board from across the sector. So people, for a long time, it was a voluntary type thing, and that's why it didn't kind of have the same. And you're going to get Jo on, aren't you, to talk about Sector 3 at some point, so I don't want to kind of go.
Is Jo your mate?
She leads Sector 3 at the moment. So she's put a lot of work into kind of making it more official and getting some funding in so we can actually do some work. And now I do some capacity building for them a couple of days a week, which means that I sit with people and sort out bids and help them to look at what their offer is and how they might align it better to what the priorities are on a bid. And
I'm waiting for some space in your diary now.
But Ben does what he does with you, which is we'll meet, we'll talk about everything else, then the last 10 minutes he'll say, oh, and by the way.
Oh yeah, we just chat, absolute. I mean, we just chat, don't we? But it's great, doesn't matter. Yeah. It is what it is, right? I want to get
Yeah, let's get Jo on and go in on Sector 3.
Yeah,
if it's a big part of the community.
Yeah, if you've got any shouts for, in fact, we'll do this at the next Sector Connector. Give me 20 minutes to say something about kind of coming on here and connecting people.
People fighting to get spots at Sector Connector.
Yeah, but I mean.
Come on,
if you get me on, you'll have double.
We'll let you do
you'll have more than 60.
The entertainment.
You'll have more than 60 people. We'll get a couple of 100 on, right?
Yeah.
It reminds me of one of those. I mean, I've not been to one for ages. The business things where all the business people
network,
from the area meet up, and then it's just business and sport. It sounds like it's something for that, but people that need to get support.
Yeah, so in a way, that's kind of when you said about what's Goodness Collective doing in the future. One of the things that we want to do is create a network that is for businesses, but it is around doing good. So it is around their bit about giving back. We know they want to do it. For some of them, they have to do it. So I don't know if people know, but if you want to bid for a public sector contract, so if you want to win some work in a hospital or a school or with the council, you have to show what we call social value, which is what do you give back locally. And it used to be enough to say that I'll take an apprentice. That doesn't wash anymore. So it's like, actually, what are you doing in the community where you base yourself? What are you doing for your employees? What are you doing for your wider community? What are you doing around the environment? So it's all of that stuff is your corporate social responsibility, whatever you want to call it.
I love all these buzzwords.
Yeah,
I'm going to go back over. I'm going to go back over this tomorrow. And just be with a pen and paper and just write down all of Simone's buzzwords
Well, your social
for the funders.
value
The funders love them.
Well, your social value really is just the value that you give back socially to your community.
Yeah.
And that's kind of an area that businesses are recognising that either they want to do more or to win certain things they have to do.
No, it absolutely makes sense, you know. And these buzzwords, I guess they just like you know, you've kind of condensed down exactly what it is that you do. Like, I mean, like social connection. I just love the buzzwords. I love the buzzwords, Simone.
Too many words.
Yeah, there's too many of them, but we're learning, you know. So, okay, so the Goodness Collective, where's it at now? We've heard a little bit about that kind of transition from, you know, why and how you put it together. Where you at now? What's your next? How are you taking over the world or Stockport next? What's the Goodness Collective doing?
We're just on our third WBA ESF funded women's programme, Wave of Change. So we have just recruited 20 women to come on our journey with us, and we're going into week 3 this week. And as I said, that's kind of personal development.
So you've just recruited 20 women?
Yeah. Amazing.
That's amazing.
We've
What
got
for
a
the
waiting
next one?
list for the one that we've just started, yeah.
What? So which one's this?
This is 3. So this is our third programme.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So and actually, we thought this time we were going to really struggle because, you know, the new lockdown had just been announced again. It's like the kids are off again. Everyone's going to be, can't do it at the moment. And we were just inundated. I spoke probably to about 50 women. Unfortunately, if you're furloughed, you don't meet the requirements of this funding. So what we've said to the women who either don't meet the requirements or we didn't have space for, or it just wasn't the right time, they decided after a conversation with us, is that I have an amazing digital guru who supports the Goodness Collective called Claire Worthington.
She's lovely,
she's
Claire.
Awesome. So she will be running soon some digital sessions that we hope will be more available because they're not so tied to
everybody, right?
Yeah. So we're going to be running more stuff like that, and we just genuinely want to put on things that kind of support and empower women. So we've got this crazy idea for International Women's Day on the 8th of March.
Oh yeah, this is insane.
This is if I can pull it off because it's about a week to go.
If you can pull it off, okay.
It's like so it's always the 8th of March, International Women's Day. And for all the men on your stream now who start saying, when's International Men's Day? There is actually
Is that Mother's Day? That?
No, I think it's about the 17th.
Yeah, men are stupid though, aren't we?
We always there's a guy on Twitter actually who started every International Women's Day. He takes it upon himself to reply to them all when it is. So every man that puts when is International Men's Day, he tells them.
because he knows that somebody's they're all going to be at it.
So yes,
brilliant.
It is International Women's Day to support obviously women across the world. It's not just Stockport or England or the UK. So we're planning, because it's the 8th, to do 8 events. I know, we don't do things small. Online, and showcase like some amazing women and put on some sessions, and that will be open.
It's great though. I think how it will work is, number one, online. It's an open door, right?
Yeah.
8 events is going to be what, at least 8 hours
Yeah.
worth of open door.
And it won't just be me. So
No.
there'll be like Beth, who I said from Pursuing Individual Excellence Pie. She'll be running some stuff. Claire will do some digital stuff. We've got a couple of women. So Kimmy from Nourish Northern Mamas, she does like some self-care and some bullet journaling stuff. She'll do a session for us, and just confirming the last few people to help us out. But they'll all be local women who kind of get this stuff and want to support it.
Cool. So you're gonna get some promotions, some posters, like an itinerary made and stuff
Speak to
like
my
that.
graphic designer in the
And
corner.
we've got it all going. As soon as it's ready, send
I mean, to
send
be
it
fair,
over
I've
here.
put him under a lot of pressure because I've been so busy with the Sector 3 Food Fund
Yeah.
that it's just, I've not stopped. So
I mean,
it's been like, I've got to do something during International Women's Day. This is my thing, so I've got to.
What's
make
the
it
Sector
happen.
3 Food Fund? What's going on there?
You've missed it, Ben, and you don't do food. Well, we spoke about this.
Oh no, I'm not bothered. No, I want you to sell them.
Right. Right, okay.
I'm all right with the food thing.
So it's closed at the moment, but the Sector 3 Food Fund was for organisations locally who are providing food-based activity. And the way we tried to do this fund was, it isn't just about meeting that emergency food need. It's like, okay, well, because if we just send everybody to food banks and we don't think about that holistic stuff that we've talked about, which is the surrounding support, then how do we, it's things like, sometimes if people are needing to access food banks all the time, are the benefits right, or do they need help with budgeting, or is there something else that's going on that perhaps they don't want to share, and is there other things that
Absolutely.
they can,
There's some.
not always, sometimes that's just what you need to do, and there's no shame, but if there's nobody checking out if there's other things, then we'll never know. So it's
an indicator. Having no food is, it's quite a strong indicator to say there's some underlying issues here, right?
Yeah, and it's like, so part of the fund, what we said was, it'd be great if you're providing food support, but what else are you offering with that food support? So you've met Rachel from the Cherry Tree Project. They do an amazing.
Oh, they're lovely, and
Fit and Fed.
Rachel, and has she got Nigel? They're great, aren't they?
Yes.
Well, they've had to really adapt themselves over COVID, haven't they?
Yeah, so they provide food packs, particularly while the schools are closed, to families on a Friday, and they cook along online. But even if you buy your own ingredients and go have a look at their page, I think it's Cherry Tree Project, it's under that. They're just such a great couple. They should be on TV, and you like watching and cooking along, and it's just an amazing, again, another amazing community project.
Yeah, they are a lovely couple. Are they Christian, them two, as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're attached to the church.
Oh, I love Christians. I do. They're great.
Well, I baptised you, didn't I?
And
Last summer, didn't I?
wearing.
Remember it?
I've actually been baptised before, though. Like officially baptised.
Oh, have you been officially?
Yeah, I've been officially baptised. But when I first came back into recovery, which was like 2-3 years ago, absolutely insane. A load of Christians took me under the wing, believe it or not.
Did you get baptised with all your clothes on?
Yeah.
Because I don't know why, but
I slipped when I got out of the when I got out of the big tub. I slipped. Yeah. So that first walk with Christ, I fell over.
What was that telling you, Ben?
Well, so I mean, I've still got I believe the whole kind of like, I don't know. There's a spirit. I mean, if there is a God. Let's just say, let's do a bit of a thought experiment here. If there is a God, well, he's not got a name, has he? You know, God didn't invent labels, we did, right? So whether it's Christ, I mean, I'll probably get burnt at the stake for saying this, but whether it's like Christ or, you know, Allah or Krishna or, he hasn't got labels. He's not got a name, has it? We're making...
All I want to know is, before going off on that one, is
Go on.
which baptism was better? One at the church or the one at the waterfall?
Oh, this country. You're bringing me into controversy here, Will. So, the Christian one was lovely because I brought my mum along, and it was really me stepping into a new way of life. So that was a really nice. It was like a nice symbology of me washing away the old me and stepping into a new way of life. A lot of which I still practice today. You know, I still practice prayer, and you know, I do have this open sense of God or higher power today. Don't necessarily pray to Jesus, but I do have this open sense, and it's still the spirit, the Christ-like spirit. You know, Christ wasn't Jesus' second name. That was the Christ spirit which he attained. You know, so yeah, but
You're
then again,
open to all different, like me, you're open to all different types.
is what it is, isn't it? Whatever.
Spirituality.
Bit of
rather than
old
religion.
spirituality thrown in there, but yeah,
I
I did.
baptised myself at that waterfall,
No,
to be fair.
No, I did like the baptism at the waterfall. It was amazing, though. Yeah, I mean, getting baptised off your best mate, great.
In a waterfall.
But
In a
what happened
waterfall.
was I baptised myself first, didn't I? Do you remember, I watched the video the other day.
You'll have to send it
I
me.
said, letting go of all my sins. Do you remember?
Yeah.
No, it's on the DryWave. It's on the blimmin' wall on Instagram.
Oh, it's the Insta
Yeah,
wall,
I
yeah.
went down, I went, oh God, that baptism video.
I'll have to check that one
I
out.
tell you what, that's when our coffee chat started happening after that, didn't it?
That's when it got real, right?
And I think there is, I know we're kind of going way off here now, but there is something really great about that whole process of like the cleansing.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's throughout the ages, and it's almost the whole like outward process is almost a reflection of that internal thing that's going on. You know, it's just an expression of that internal that wants to get cleansed, that wants to step out, and we have to solidify it in the physical, which is why you go through that kind of play of being baptized or washed, or and there's loads of different types of that enactment. Oh, hello, Simone.
And I'm sure Rachel and Nigel would love that they inspired that little
that
section.
Yeah,
of
thanks,
the-
Rachel and Nigel. Let's give a few shout outs.
Yeah, come
We've probably got about 15 minutes
Last 15.
left, Simone, and then we're going to call it a night.
Yeah.
Give
I
it.
need to go to sleep.
I know, I'm knackered myself. Give us a
Last
few.
10 minutes.
Give us a few shout outs for a couple of the people that the Goodness Collective is working with. Why are you working with them? And
The biggest shout out's got to go to Claire Worthington.
come on, Claire.
Go on,
Claire,
She's amazing.
awesome, and she kind of, again, me being the ideas person, she just goes with me, and she's like, yeah, whatever, we'll make it work, and she's just so supportive.
Brilliant.
And it makes it so easy to have somebody like that to work alongside.
Aww.
It's a pleasure, actually. I'm really pleased that we kind of gel the way we do, and also I think we're very different. Yeah, and again, her skill set, digital, is not my thing. I just about get around Zoom.
I need a Claire.
Yeah, you need a Claire. You
Any Claires out
sure
there?
She'll
Digital.
help you out if you want to. She does, and she runs her own business as well. And she designs websites, so she really knows her stuff. She's great. So she gets my biggest shout out. Obviously, Ethan, he's been instrumental in kind of bringing it all together around the branding.
That's such a
and
nice
comms.
relationship you got with your son. Like to have that kind of. I mean, it's one thing just like
And again, you know, he's so laid back he'd fall over, whereas I am like all over everything. What's going on about this? So you know, it causes conflict, don't we?
Right.
It's not the air. We have our moments, don't we, Ethan? You know, we've got a Trello board now with all the stuff on, and I'm constantly adding things, and he's like just back off a bit. I'm doing this. So yeah, he's been fantastic.
Great.
Beth, who I work with at Pi, pursuing individual excellence. Keep saying that because I know you've got Pi Radio here. So, you know, again, we decided to do the Wave of Change project together. We co-designed it, co-delivered.
So it's called
it.
Wave of Change, inspired by DryWave.
So we've got Pi and we've got Wave, yeah. So somewhere along there, you were definitely
Pi
meant
Wave.
to be involved
We'll
in
have
that,
to do a Pi
really.
Wave.
Pi Wave.
Yeah, Pi Wave. That's got to be a thing.
There you go. Yeah.
Just see the image that he does with the pie on a wave.
A pie on the...
I'll get him to send you something when
There
he
you
gets that. And just the whole of the voluntary community sector in Stockport, they're so welcoming, and it's like, you know, they say you help me, but actually they help so many other people, and if I'm a bit of supporting them, they're the ones on the ground doing the work, and some of, like, you know, some of these people are doing really difficult work, like Chris at Man About a Dog, and some of this is like really, and yourselves, really heavy stuff. I get to do the nice, like, sprinkle on the cake bits.
Bet yours can get a little bit heavy though, because just working with people in general, right, can be quite heavy, right?
Yeah, and I mean, again, so this new course we've just started, it's really difficult. You'll know yourself, like, doing it all at a distance, because I am a people person.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, I'm a bit of an introvert as well. I like my own space. I'm not like extrovert and want to be with people all the time, but I do like to connect face to face. So, like, obviously we've been going around dropping off resource packs, because what we really try and do on the Wave of Change is not kind of assume that people have got anything. So right down to pencil and paper, it's like we want to provide everything you need, so we always drop stuff off, and like even the women, and you can see they really want to talk to you, and I want to stay and I want to have a brew with them, and you just can't.
You just can't at the moment, right? Which is difficult. I think that's a really nice touch though, about we supply everything. Let's not assume, because
you shouldn't assume anything.
I think you're so right. I mean,
so even like the resources, you know, a lot of this stuff is easier if you print it out and you've got it in front of you. People don't have printers.
They don't.
We put all the worksheets together and we send them out with the pack, so that
it's essential, you know, especially, you know, if people you know, suffer with anxiety or procrastination, or even just getting hold of a pen for somebody can mean months worth of not doing a job search they like, or writing down ideas, like, just because they don't have a pen. Some people find it difficult just to get a pen, right? So I love that. I love that personal touch.
A big part of the program is for the women. It's about getting them to see their own value. So by us giving them things, it shows them that we value them, and we invest in them, and we're spending money on them, and it's not just pen and paper. You know, there's some nice things in there. They get a lovely Wave of Change mug. They get some nice biscuits.
Where are you getting these mugs made?
Oh, Kitsch Republic. That's another.
Is that the one that I
shout-out
connected with?
from Reddish?
Yeah, they need to. I think I sent them an email. I wanted the number because I thought, nah. What do you reckon to emails? Do they do your editing?
They do my editing. I get a lot of them. And sometimes I prefer to pick up the phone,
The
because
phone.
you can have sent 10 emails by the time you
you
figured out
finish,
what
yeah.
you need to say on the phone. But yeah, Kitsch Republic, and that's so another big part of the program is that the funding that we get, we try and spend local. So we never ask any women to do anything if they're not in an employed position that we don't offer them some payment for, even if it's coming and speaking to inspire our women. If they are running their own organisation or from a voluntary community group, we always offer a financial incentive.
That's great.
It might not be, you know, what they're worth, but it's just that acknowledgement that we appreciate
nice.
your time.
No, it's great. I think what's really inspiring as well is that, you know, literally, house burnt down, nothing, and then actually coming up with, you know, this kind of idea to start the Goodness Collective and with Sector Connection and stuff like that. Like, it's so inspirational, especially for the women that are part, or some of the women that are part of our community, where it's like, okay, we've got this clean canvas, there's nothing on it, what do I do? You know, and it is possible if you have got your own ideas and some initiative, and you see a problem somewhere which you feel that your skills and ideas can fix. There are ways to start to create, you know, a little business, a little job,
Side hustle.
a side hustle, right? You know, you're like the queen of side hustle, right?
Side hustling all over the shop. She's side hustling us, isn't it?
Telling you, man, we've been absolutely hustled, right?
Hustle her, she's hustling us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I
Brilliant.
think, you know, for a lot of these women, and that's why we spend so long on the personal development side, is it's about them remembering again what they like and what they enjoy. And we're very good as women at putting everybody else's needs before our own. Children, partners, parents now as well, with you know, a lot of people looking after elderly parents. So it's that real thing again of just giving yourself, even if it's an hour a week, where a focus on just what I need and what I want. And that's where we involve some of the community projects again. And we've had Plastic Shed recycling plastic. We've had Cherry Tree doing Fit and Fed. It's like
Plastic Shed. Were they doing something in Stockport before the COVID thing?
So they have got with Tom. Can't remember the name of his
that's his name.
organisation, but they've got the Mersey workshop now. So they're trying to create in Mersey a community space, because we know in the high street, unless you've got money, it's quite difficult to access the high street. It's nice that there's all these bars and restaurants in the marketplace, but actually, if you don't have a lot of money or you've got a large family, and you know, even going to the cinema for 2 hours now is going to cost you bloody £100.
I know.
So
it's crazy.
So
Especially
you know, having
they went
things,
cheaper.
having things to do on your doorstep that's creative but doesn't cost you a lot of money.
That's
I think
a great
is
idea,
key and that's kind of where all this community wealth building stuff goes. How do you build community into the heart of your high street, because traditional retail isn't working anymore? But yeah, so introducing women to things that are happening locally. One, yes, to connect them to that, but two, to kind of just inspire some of their own ideas and where are their passions, and seeing other women who've turned, you know, recycling plastic into a job. Who'd have thought? You know, Rachel's amazing.
Yeah, there was a little, I think it's like a little 5-minute short by Alan Watts. Alan Watts is a really cool philosopher who speaks about what it is that you love. Forget about the money, right? Just concentrate on what you love. And whatever that is, it could be picking shells up off the beach, it could be tending horses, it could be collecting flowers or bugs, whatever it is. If you do it for long enough, you will eventually, and we go back to what we were just talking about, you will eventually become a master at it. And there's people out there that will pay you money for your mastery, right? You know, you'll be finding the most beautiful shells, the most intricate little bugs, you know, creating show horses, whatever it is. But the key to that is commitment, right?
Yeah.
It's commitment. So yeah, it is a journey of self-discovery. It's an adventure, because with an adventure, you never know what's around the corner, right? And we know that through kind of setting off on this kind of community interest adventure. You never know who you're going to meet. You know, it's the hero circle, right? And it will.
Yeah.
It's been absolutely lovely having you. It's always lovely to... Oh, there was something that I wanted to ask you.
Oh,
so,
one last thing.
Told you 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, God.
2 minutes left.
So, your husband will kill me, won't he? Like, who's this, Ben?
Yeah, you're staying out late.
Staying out late with Ben and Will again. I've heard of these.
Where's this link to this show?
So, what was this? Yeah, so, the lottery, I applied to them, right, for some money.
Yeah.
And they got back to me asking loads of cool questions. So I sent them the answers back, and then they got back to me again asking some more cool questions. Is that a good thing, or?
That's a good thing. They want to know more about
They
you.
want to know more.
And actually, the lottery, some people don't even recognise it when they play the lottery. That's just where they go. I think it's something like 54p and £2 goes to back into the community.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So if you are from Gamblers Anonymous and you don't want to buy a lottery ticket and relax, but you do want to send the money into DryWave, 54p, just send it through. Right? We'll send you a link and you can send it through to us.
The lottery fund, and some groups don't go for it for that reason. Some people who have very ethical standpoints won't apply to the National Lottery.
Say that again.
So some groups won't apply to the National Lottery for funding because of where it comes from.
Oh right, yeah, because I heard something like about. Oh yeah, I got sent like a questionnaire off the lottery, and one of the questions was something like, "Would you not apply to the lottery because of religious reasons?" I thought, what are they going on? But that's it, isn't it? It's the gambling, right?
But at the same time, if you are okay with applying to it, they're really, you would think for a big funder, they're really approachable.
He's super approachable.
And even just picking up a phone and having a conversation with, there's not many funders that you can do that with. You can in Stockport.
Yeah.
But, the bigger funders, it's pretty impossible. So I really like the way that they don't just make it an inaccessible process.
No.
It's like actually we can...
I actually really enjoy writing National Lottery funding bids. Yeah, love them.
People charge for that,
Oh, well, sending my way seems to be pretty successful.
What I mean, I've seen you get to a point where he starts writing funding bids for people.
Sending my way. Well, I've actually had to get on to so the Arts Council. Although one of my mates is like the head of the Arts Council, right? I'm still finding it difficult to write, so I've had to pay somebody to help me write the Arts Council funding bid because it's like, but they got 100% success rate, so.
And there's that thing about getting the problem. I don't like. I will support people to look at their bid and tell them what I think's missing.
Yeah.
Because I also have the other side where I sit on funding panels and see a lot of very dodgy applications come through. And it's like the big problem is people tell you everything about their organisation and how great it is, but they don't answer the question. And if I don't answer the question, I can't score you. So there's that whole thing of it's a bit like a job application. If I ask you for these skills, I need you to tell me you've got those skills and provide the evidence. And it's the same with a funding bid. You've got to tell me how you'll do it and provide the evidence.
Yeah. Well, when I answered this question, I answered like one of the last questions that the lottery was asking, and I sent them all this stuff. It was like bleh. And then I thought, hang on.
Spilled your soul.
I thought, I've not told them anything there.
Yeah.
So then I had to send a thing and say, look, I get really excited and really new to this. Here's some figures of what we've done. Here's the outcomes. Here's this. Because I thought, I've not sent... I've just said a load of stuff, but none of it actually says anything.
Yeah, and don't forget, if they're giving you money, they're investing in you. They want to know that you know about things like measuring social impact and how you're going to show them what the outcomes are, and that their money is well spent, because they've got a duty of care, haven't they?
Absolutely.
To make sure that money is not just going to someone who's, decorating their house in
putting buying bucket hats.
Funded by the lottery.
That's what I should have on it. So now little funded by the lottery bucket hat. I'll tell you, I make myself laugh. Right, let's close the show down, Simone. It's been lovely, lovely having you, and Ethan as well. Sat in the corner with his. Well, we're gonna play. We're gonna play it out. We're gonna play it out. It deserves it, Simone. You're amazing.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Thanks, Simone.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out.
It's really working.
Let's see if he gets it. Amazing.
See you later, gang.
See you later.
Growing up, me and my gang as far back as I can remember, roaming these streets we called home in all kinds of weather. Our favourites were footy or knock a door run. They'd always refer to it as mischief, but to us it was fun. You see, in these toxic environments where we were brought up, you'd struggle to find anything this close to love. We all had our own reasons for staying out as late as we could. Some dads that were AWOL, some mothers on drugs. Then as we got older, these streets, they turned into these pubs. Still me and my gang, but no more Kirby at night. Darts and pool for depression. Oh, it's anxiety, mate. Here, have a few cans of Red Stripe. Doing anything we could to ignore this frustration inside. Seeking out girls for affection. For anger, it's fights. Hard to explain really, but we were never fighting these old blokes, even though we didn't know it at the time. They were mum's boyfriends, our teachers, politicians, our fathers, our brothers, or at least they were in our minds. See me and my gang, we were never naughty types, but our hearts were so bloody heavy and our heads filled with shite. All we wanted was a chat, or a hug, or a moan, or a fucking good cry. Brought up in these homes where emotions are fear. Talking about feelings or crying, you're going the right way for a clip round the ear. Looking back now though, I really wish we'd tried. Cause recently, my gang, nearly me, has been dropping like flies. Even at Ince's funeral, we all wore sunglasses so no one would see the tears in our eyes. You see, Ince, as Morrissey put it, was the first of my gang to die. M62 bridge, near the Denton bypass. Ince was the first that day, but for me and my gang, Ince wouldn't be the last. Since then, a couple had turned to drugs, got clean, then turned back. One or two locked up or on tags, simply stuck on the wrong paths. A few of us joined Ince after long kips, long ropes, or longer baths. I just pray to God, if there is one that is, what's left of me and my gang can help each other to last. Now I've got my own little brother. And he's got his own little gang. They listen to proper shit music and I can't understand any of their slang. I know. He knows. He's got all of my love. But I also know, like most of us, he'll have to go through some stuff. At least he'll never have to hear me say those words. Can't you just bloody toughen up? Cause real men, they do cry and hurt and feel sad, feel pain, but they do open up. Men can share their feelings at the match or at the pub, and I want that to be normal for men, as him and his gang are growing up.
It's Ben SOS, it's your boy with a bucket hat, just apologising once again for the swearing, completely forgot, so tired. Sorry Ofcom. Bye gang.